Ho, ho! Well, let's see. What else do I got? Oh, yeah. We got all that. Anytime I hear that music, I know that Kel's in the house. How you doing, sweetie? Whoa, 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 whoa. What? What? What'd you say?
I'm doing great. How are you?
You were miming there. It's been a while since I did that. Huh? I love it. I love it. Episode 31 of What's the Matter? And as I was talking to you about before the show, did a little twist, we were going to talk about what's the matter with erections, but yeah, it's not what you guys think. We were going to talk about visuals. Buildings. Yeah, we need visuals. We're going to talk about buildings and structures and monuments and stuff like that from a history, so we needed to have some kind of visuals. So that being said, we're really excited. We got camera equipment that's going to be coming here in the next week. It's already here. And so we're going to take final inventory, see what we want. And so pretty soon you guys are going to be able to see us visually on YouTube, and I'm going to have to dress up a little bit more. I don't know. What do you want our attire to be? We haven't talked about that. Should we just slide in and, just kind of be the way that we've been, or so we have cameras in here?
Oh, yeah, no. When we first got cameras here at America Matters, oh gosh, almost 10 years ago now.
You mean the Matterhorn?
The Matterhorn. And yeah, in the studio here.
Yeah.
And when it was 2017, so 9 years, it'll be 9 years ago,
right?
This March. And
now you're referring to these webcams,
that we have here in the studio. And I argued with Craig, our engineer at the time. No, I'm not going on camera. Keep me off this camera. I don't want to be on blah blah blah. I'm so cool radio, and I'm accepting of it now, but I hated my face. I hated the way I looked.
Well, there's a difference between, of course, a radio show and a podcast.
Right.
You can do audio only, as we've been doing.
Yeah.
But analytics and stuff like that, you should. I mean, we're going to do both.
We'll give people the option. That's the cool thing.
That's the
cool thing. If they want to see what we're doing and what we look like and watch our funny faces, that's fine.
We're going to be all over.
We'll be all over.
Eventually. Oh my gosh, that's kind of scary. The haters are going to come out.
But yeah, I've gotten comfortable with it now.
Yeah. It's going to happen.
So I forget. At this point now, I don't even think about it. If I were at home, making a video of myself, I'd be more self-conscious, trying to put something of my own out there. I have a hell of a time with that.
Icky like
I do too, and I really need to do it. I've got to get over that because I've got to get out there.
I really do too.
Let's work on that together. I'm just who cares what I have? So what? There's so much more out there that, and I'm just why add another voice? Yeah. But then there's the other side of...
That's an imposter syndrome.
That's it. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Because there are people that, that need to hear what I have to say, the way I say it, even if it's the same information,
Somewhere.
We all have that.
Somewhere.
Oh, God, I haven't heard that in forever.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
All right, what's the matter with holidays? That's what this is going to be about. What's the matter with holidays? And so I had this little note here. We want to ask better and live better. Okay, and you guys will understand what we're talking about there. So before we get really into the meat and potatoes of this, and we want to again thank our sponsors here. Being able to get this out there to the ethos from the Matterhorn Studios, as we mentioned. That's of course thanks to World Matters Incorporated, of course created and produced by Big Bongo Productions. And we keep talking. This whole week, well, we're in the middle, but I really need to get together with Dr. Tom and just at least schedule one of these health segments, because we haven't done that, in a long time. And he's working on some pretty amazing things. But same thing, Ed Alexander, occasional host. He couldn't make it. He's super busy. Again, I want to give a shout out to American Matters Media, the flagship of where this all started here in the Reno Town Mall in beautiful Reno, Nevada. 93.7 on the FM dial if you guys are scooting around in your cars, or do they even have FM on headsets anymore? It's all streaming.
On headsets? What do you mean?
Yeah. Like if you are out there, you probably could. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you got to be able to
stream it.
You could
tune into it.
Yeah. So
there is still FM. I mean, radio is not dead. Popular belief.
No. I'm just wondering as far as having your ear pods, but there's a way to do it. If you guys are motivated enough, you'll do it. But so yeah, we're going to talk about the holidays today. And in this first segment, I have this titled Holiday Alchemy, right? So a mixture of joy, chaos, and movie archetypes. So I want to kind of set this by talking about, now we have to set this also before I get into these movies. We're talking about little Christmas movies. I got 3 of them
Die Hard?
teed up here. No, I agree. That's a Christmas movie. It qualifies.
I didn't get that message.
Maybe you should have put it on the bulletin board.
Sorry, Hans, wrong guess. Would you like to go for double jeopardy where the scores can really change?
Well, these are very bad for you. Just the fly in the ointment, Hans. The monkey in the wrench. The pain in the ass.
Man, when that thing first came out, that was a hot movie. That was really good.
Wasn't it though?
Yeah, it was something else. And of course, Bruce is in his last days. His daughter's doing some amazing,
That's
Earth
so
Angel
sad.
stuff, with him. So, but anyway, before we do that, just to remind you guys, Kel and holidays are kind of hit and miss with you. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Where you don't poo poo on them, but some
No.
of you can take some of them. You participate every once in a while, but then you may go 2 years or something like that, where it's just like
where it's just it's just another day,
just
just this Thursday,
Yeah.
whatever.
Exactly.
Yep.
So you're a good sounding board, from this, because we want to kind of, you would actually probably be considered maybe an expert, because if anybody knows how to maybe stay away from holiday drama, it would probably be you. And if you have some anecdotal stories, then feel free, to offer them. But these 3 movies here. So the mashup here, the first one I want to highlight is Ralphie from A Christmas Story.
Yeah.
Now, remember that, right?
I have never seen that whole movie.
Oh my God.
I've never seen it.
What is up with this? Like every time I mention a movie and you're like, I've never seen that. And it's just blowing me away, because like most of these things that I'm referencing are pretty good staples in Americana.
I know.
Pop culture.
That is
things,
why
right?
I am
You
so
should be ashamed of
French.
yourself, Kel. No, I'm just
to
kidding.
my parents.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. So, okay, so Ralphie, just to remind you, so A Christmas Story, he was wanting this Red Ryder BB gun,
You'll shoot your eye out, kid.
Okay.
right? And so it's all this about the buildup. And Darren McGavin was the dad in this, so that should pique your interest right there. So yeah, before he was the Night Stalker,
Interesting.
right? So he's the dad in this. And of course, it has that classic scene where everybody on the playground, they're at the tetherball pole, and they dare him. It's like freezing cold, and they dare him to stick his tongue on the pole.
Right. Oh, I've seen that. Yeah. I know that scene.
And he gets stuck.
I've never seen It's a
So-
Wonderful Life.
It's a crack up. So that's a classic thing. But the reason that I picked that one first is because Ralphie is not alone in that there are adults that suffer. They suffer. They don't know they're suffering, but they suffer from this anticipation. Sometimes gift obsessions, right? I still, I told my husband I want this, and he better get it for me. He doesn't love me. That's just one
And that's
example, right? That's just one example. But some of the things, of course, with the kids, the point is that the parents can still behave like kids, even though,
That's part of the charm
about
and
Santa Claus.
Yeah. That's part of the charm and point of it. But it's gotten, because of the commercial induction that got sucked into it, it's become too exploitable now. Like there's no quaintness, there's no authenticity to it anymore to me. It's all just obligation and
kind of
commercialism and
ritualistic type of stuff.
marketing and
Yeah.
just over here, no, look over here, no, over here, do this, do that, do da 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 da.
It's all true, but we're gonna talk about that is all true, but we're gonna talk about more of the conscious things today. Namely these little tiny disappointments that you may experience, and most important, how to reset expectations without killing the holiday magic. Don't be a Grinch.
Don't be a Scrooge.
You just made up a word.
A Scrooge.
A Scrooge.
Scrunch.
It's like when Scrooge and the Grinch have sex. I'm gonna Scrooge you. I'm gonna Grooge you. Yeah. You're gonna like it.
Give me a Grinch me, baby.
Why am I turning green? Okay, now the second movie we have is a classic, Home Alone.
I love Home Alone.
Oh my gosh, that is.
Oh my God. My very favorite scene in Home
now
Alone.
Kevin's all grown up. It's not the same, but we want to remember
and now
him
that
as
you
a
know the
little
real
kid.
story behind this poor life, you're like, oh God.
Jesus, I know.
But my favorite scene in that movie is where
Well, and there's a couple, right?
going down the stairs,
Home Alone
where
2.
in Home Alone, the first one, where they're going down the basement stairs. Kevin poured water and it froze, and they went running down, and they end up at the bottom of it, and then all of a sudden, Joe Pesci goes whoop, and he falls. Just that noise he makes.
Yeah.
Every time I see it, I crack up.
Well, and that now you're making me want to watch that again.
Me
'cause
too.
It has
Me
been a
too.
while.
Let's do it.
What I noted there, Cal, okay, is like the first one, you're Ralphie, we want to set up these like expectations and not be like this little kid, right? You want to kind of grow up a little bit as far as your anticipation, your gift obsessions and things like that. Now, Home Alone, now tell me this wasn't true. Okay, he took chaos. Okay, just think about that, right? His mom left, his family left him alone, right? So after discovering this, just to remind you guys, the first part was kind of cool. He's able to do what he wants and stuff like that. Yeah, right. And then, of course, now these guys start trying to break in and stuff like that. So he goes some troubleshooting mode. And so he takes this chaotic type of situation and then he translates that into competence, right? And in turn, takes this stress, right? And it's all, if you remember, it's all about checklists. Remember him and his checklist? See, right? So we're going to be talking about that. So think about Kevin and turning, chaos, into some competence, and it's all about some checklists. Now, Scrooge, we all know that classic story where the cynicism, so maybe some things have happened in your life, and you're just not feeling it this year, right? But you feel obligated, for whatever reason, friends, family, that you're going to be there, but you really don't feel like being there, right? So how to take this kind of cynicism and then convert that into change. And my point here, and we'll again elaborate on this, but how Scrooge, right? Tiny Tim, how that one tiny generous act flipped the mood of the entire room, of the entire thing, right? And of course, it took Scrooge 3 ghosts, to get him to that point. But sometimes it's just, maybe it's just shutting up and not saying something in response. Maybe it's, again, some nice gesture where you're seeing somebody that needs some help with a kid, or something like that, and you take that pressure off them. Who knows? But anyway, we'll talk about, those 3 things. And here's the first thing. So here's your first tool in your toolbox, okay? So if you're tripping out, or if you're about ready to trip out, or somebody's tripping out at Christmas time over the holiday, remember HALT, H-A-L-T. And first H stands for hungry. Are you hungry?
It's always a good question to ask.
Are you angry? Are you lonely? Or are you tired? And if you're one of those 4 things, like the whole thing is that, just halt before you reply.
Yes.
So those things, if you're hungry, angry, lonely, or tired, when you're in the company of others during the holidays, just be cognizant of that. Just be aware of that. And then, kind of slow your roll a little bit.
Nice.
Right?
I love that.
You're susceptible to being triggered.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, hell, that applies to. That's not just the holidays for me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put that in my back pocket for a lot of things.
I love it.
I appreciate that.
No worries. So starting out like that.
I love acracronyms. I am such an alphabet soup person.
Yeah.
But HALT. There's. Do you know who Chase Hughes is?
Yeah.
I love him.
He's
some of the
sharp guy.
Isn't he sharp?
He's a
I
sharp
would
guy.
love to have him on. We need to look at
would be
him and
cool.
Andy Bustamante. Do you know who Andy Bustamante is? Oh, he's ex-CIA. He's another one.
Wow.
Yeah, he and his wife.
One of my friends turned me on to Chase. And I wish I just had more time to kind of check out other podcasts and stuff like that. But it'll come. It'll come.
Yeah, we're getting there.
So let's see. So why don't you just quickly share, remind me again, and for our listening audience, kind of like your experience with holidays. You're not quite like Jehovah's Witness.
Oh gosh, where I don't celebrate anything. The reason I don't is only because I have nobody to celebrate with. I have no family. I'm literally the last person living person left in my entire family. I'm it. The Rush name dies with
current
me.
Situation.
Yes,
yeah.
and I've never been married. I have no children. So the whole point of holidays goes right past me because it's all about, holidays and friends and family and gatherings and all this stuff. And I don't have those connections. I just don't. And, so to me, and a long time ago, even when I still had my parents, I saw through this as far as, at least for as much as Christmas goes, so much for Christmas. I saw through it a long time ago because we ended up trading money with my parents and I. I finally said, don't buy me anything. I won't buy you anything. I'll see you when I see you. They were in Philly for the longest time, and they would what we call Snowbird. They had a place in Tucson for the winter. I would go once a year on my dad's birthday, which was also the same week as Jim's
so
show.
that's how you guys got to Florida?
And no, that they did. No, it's a whole
Different
story.
Snowbird.
Different Snowbird, yeah. And so it just, like my mother would send me gift cards, I'd send her gift cards, and it was just like, why are we doing this? It
just got
none
to be
of
a
us
pain
needed
pain
stuff.
in the butt.
Yeah, I made more money than they did combined, so them buying me stuff wasn't going to do any good. They
Right.
bought me stuff like I was 15 years old. You know what I mean? That the last they remembered. So it was just no, just don't. That's not necessary. So we dropped the whole sentiment. My mother would still decorate.
Right.
She
Fun.
still had.
Yeah. That's fun.
Yeah, it was like her inner child just wouldn't let it go.
Or maybe maybe it was keeping up with the Joneses as far as
and that was another part of it.
You
That
know
was
what I
another
mean?
part of it because
Yeah.
their community they lived in would
Yeah.
have an outdoor decoration contest.
You don't want the other ladies talking shit. about you.
Exactly. And so she and her neighbor would team up and try to win the whoop-de-doo. So it just didn't, it wasn't about what it was supposed to be about ever. I mean, I found out there was no Santa Claus when I was 6 years old.
Oh, that's right.
So, yeah.
God dang it.
So,
that's too early.
So the whole
is.
thing, the whole illusion was shattered so early.
Yeah.
You're
And
putting
then-
me in a hell of a position here, but I have no choice. You're not going to kill Santa Claus because he doesn't exist.
Really, Brian? He doesn't exist.
That's right. He's not real.
Interesting theory, Brian.
Watching people go through the bullshit. I mean,
Uh-huh.
I call it holiday head. When I worked in corporate America, I hated it. The minute October hit, my year was over as far as getting any kind of IT projects done, any kind of consistent work,
'Cause
any kind
everybody's
of linearity.
distracted.
Everybody. The minute Halloween would hit, everybody would get into holiday head and start planning for the.
I like that.
you know,
Holiday head. That's
yeah.
true, too.
It's
It's just like
gotta.
You're
you know.
preoccupied.
Yeah, totally distracted, totally preoccupied, totally thinking of yourself and what you have to do for your own thing, and which was fine. I got it.
Yeah.
But I just knew that okay, nothing's going to get done for the next 3 months because I mean it's bang, 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 and you don't really think about it when you're in the sway of it, especially if you have kids and all that. It's
Right.
like Halloween. Then it's oh god. Then 3 weeks later Thanksgiving, and then a month later oh my god it's Christmas. And people pleasers and people who have family that they need to keep happy and whatever, they get caught up in checking off the boxes like you said, spinning plates. And I would watch this and I'd watch people, like you said, get nasty, and it just wasn't I mean, there was like the whole
Yeah. Where's all the
motif about what the holiday was supposed to be about was
Right.
gone.
Yeah.
And it was all everybody stressed out about what they have to buy and how much money they were going to waste and how much money they were going to spend and do they have to go to see the parents and the
Yeah.
in-laws and the da-da-da-da-da. And it just was always a mess.
What a lesson in how fake adults are and
That's
how much they
exactly.
lie.
Yep.
To little kids and stuff like.
Oh God! And see that
And then we asked them to be
always
honest.
bothered me. That always bothered me. Especially after I found out so early. That's what it came down to for me. It's like you lied to me.
This is Cousin Patty. He's going to be staying with us for a while. Isn't that nice?
You don't have a cousin Patty.
You lied to me.
It wasn't. I don't care what
That's
the
the first
intention
thing.
was.
Santa
you
Claus,
deceived me.
Easter
on
Bunny.
purpose. Yeah, Tooth Fairy, all of it.
Tooth Fairy.
And that's how it all
At least we
shattered.
got-
That's how religion shattered
At
for
least
me.
we got money for that, though.
Well, I shattered like that. I totally dropped out of Christianity because I went, okay, Tooth Fairy, Easter Bunny, Santa Claus, Jesus, really? Never met the guy, never seen him, never touched him. Don't have my picture taken with me. Never gives me anything. He makes me get up.
If like that was all done with the pagans. As far as like Jesus's birthday, I think they traced it.
They
or-
traced it to
wasn't-
the changing of the seasons.
Yeah, it's not. It's
hasn't-
not
it's-
in December.
No, it's not. That wasn't his birthday. That
Yeah.
if you Jordan Maxwell does a phenomenal video that breaks this whole thing down. And
Yeah.
once you watch it, you won't believe in Jesus anymore. You'll question. You necessarily won't believe, but you will question whether or not Jesus actually existed as a human being.
Wow. I don't know about that. I thought there was that'd be kind of crazy.
It's fascinating. And he did. He wasn't his name Jesus Christ is not a name. That's a title. His
Yeah,
name
yeah,
was
yeah.
his name was Yahshua ben Yosef.
Mm-hmm. I
And
remember
that's
that.
that is the human being that existed that the people refer to as Jesus Christ. He was a real man.
Interesting.
But the myth is what we get sold in religion.
I'm thinking about Ed Alexander right now
Alexander.
because it's 420.
Oh, should have brought a blunt.
Oh,
And
that's for the
so-
J Big Show. No, they can't do that. It's FCC compliance.
So, it's interesting. It's
It
just
is.
the whole thing to me,
Yeah.
just society. And of course, my whole educational background is, psychology and sociology and things like that. So, I have studied humanity pretty much my whole life. And, I've gone from being caught up in these things myself and participating to then realizing my participation wasn't effective for whatever reason, might be either personally or because of what I was trying to contribute. And I was able to, at that point, step back and kind of look at, the 360 of everything, kind of get above it and look down and just go, oh yeah, this is a freaking video game.
Yeah. Now that's
You know.
where I was going to ask. So after all this time, where are you at with it today? How do you
Now-
best navigate?
Now that
The
I
holidays.
have healed from my family trauma and I'm completely separate from that whole story, now I'm just like, I can play if I want and I don't have to.
Yeah.
So it's nice, actually. It's a
Yeah.
really,
It's up to you.
yeah, like I don't have, like, I don't declare, like, I don't do holidays. Like, I'm a vegetarian, I'm a vegan. I don't
Yeah.
like to do that because too many times I've done that and screwed myself.
Get yourself in a corner.
There are no absolutes. They're just really, very rarely in this life are there really things that need to be absolute. And one of them is my participation in holidays. So if something
Okay.
comes up, like Thursday, I went to Emily's Cordillera event.
Oh, I saw that.
was
She sent
wonderful.
me an invite. Yeah.
That was awesome at Wild River Grill, and I won the auction. I mean, the wine raffle, and
Wow. Very
yeah,
cool.
so that was really nice. And I met a kid who's 30, 38, 39, but
How insulting.
he does a movie podcast. For 12 years, he's been doing this.
Who is this? What's his name?
Think. Oh my God, I can't remember. I can't.
That's okay.
I
Didn't
can't
mean to
think of
put
it.
you on the spot.
But I mean, like, I'm like, dude, like, and he's still playing small with it.
Uh-huh.
Like this thing, like the guests he gets, it should
a
be
podcast
huge.
that he turns into a movie.
No. It's a podcast about movies. He does reviews and then interviews with. That's how he was at Emily's event because he's worked with
Gotcha.
Cordillera. And we just got to talking at the bar, and then his partner came over, and we just had this amazing conversation. And this guy is so good, and I'm like, let me help you. I mean,
So he's kind of like a modern day Siskel and Ebert by himself,
Sorta.
in a way. because
Sorta.
There's no partner in crime, so he just breaks it down himself.
Exactly,
Uh-huh.
exactly. And he's scored some really influential guests
Yeah.
who have then turned other people they know onto him to be on his show.
Well, that would be
And
good
I'm like,
too,
dude,
because,
if you've got that kind of organic going on,
because he could, already there's not as many people that go to movies,
Right.
And so it's kind of like a Rotten Tomatoes, like an
Yeah,
individual Rotten Tomatoes.
if I want to go to the movies, it'll help determine.
I trust this guy's
Yes.
discernment,
Yes.
right?
Exactly.
Every time I don't listen to him and he says something's junk, I go and I'll be damned. The movie's junk.
Right.
You know,
Right.
But when he tells me that something's a sleeper, I can see why it's not very heavily publicized. But when I go and dang, he's right again.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the kind of thing that you want.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Well, I like that. So you're able to, kind of pick and choose around the holidays. And so,
Exactly.
yeah. Well, kind of like, let's see. So review the ending three. So Halloween, you said that's hit and miss, right? You eat turkey once a year, right?
I do.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving.
So Thanksgiving,
Uh-huh.
and that's kind of it.
Joshua Dylan Hunter, his name is.
Okay. What's the name of the podcast?
That I have to find out still. We didn't get that far.
I'll follow that. See what's up with that guy. Especially because, Emily's done such a great job. So proud of her.
Hasn't she?
Yeah. So proud of her. I hope she doesn't get too big for her britches.
Oh, God, no.
I'm
Never.
just teasing.
Never.
No, but we have a lot of talent around here. So let's see. Moving on here. Let's see. What do we want to do here? We are by ourselves. I think I'm going to just scream through this. I do have a couple of jokes for the cricket section. Where are my crickets? There they are. All right, some laughing crickets. So your suggestion of making things topical, we're still going with that. So let's see. So Christmas. What did the boy with no arms get for Christmas?
I don't know.
I don't know either. He hasn't opened it yet. Okay.
That was a good one.
All right. Okay. Well, and one time there was, when I was working for corporate America, you know how I hate dealing with vacation requests. Hate it. And so that's why I don't do that anymore. I just basically try to fill it in on my schedule. And if I can go, I can go. But back in the day, you know, I asked my boss, hey, can I have a few days off seeing it's so close to Christmas? You know what he said? He goes, it's May. And I said, I'm sorry, May I have a few days off seeing it's so close to Christmas? Okay, so
That's
far,
really
so
funny.
good. Now, I used to work in a psychiatric facility back in the day when I was studying psychology.
Did
and
you?
Stuff. Yeah, yeah. There was an acute adult facility I was
Wow.
at specifically for 6 months. That was a trip. That was one flew over the cuckoo's nest. Got a little taste of that. You had to watch your back.
I
Had to chart every 15 minutes. Where's this guy? Where's this guy? Where's this girl? I got some good stories on that one too. Crazy stuff.
we need to talk.
Yeah. But relating to psychiatric hospital, what Christmas song do they sing in psychiatric hospitals? Do you see what I...
That's a good one.
Oh, my goodness gracious. Now, you're the one that brought up Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go earlier. Let's go Genesis. Okay, we're going to go all the way back to the book of Genesis. Okay, the Adam and Eve, you know. So the first Christmas, what did Adam say the day before Christmas? Adam says, it's Christmas, Eve.
These are good.
All right. That's what we oh yeah, I had that last one I had to get in. That was pretty good, huh?
It was really good.
All right, topical Christmas. We can move on now. So thank you guys for tuning in and have to do that. I don't know. Some of those, yeah. I always wonder, is this a dad joke? You know, sometimes it's a grandpa joke. We keep going. All right, so now, Kel, fast tools. And we're going to do a little demo here. So what do you do when, let's say you're in a social situation, as we may be at some family gatherings or stuff like that. You know, the thing about family gatherings too, you may have like a niece there that's with their, you know, a significant other boyfriend for the first time. So there may be family members that have these plus ones. And so you want to make sure that you do not become the highlight or the low light of that Christmas ensemble, right? So when you get into a tense situation, how long does your reset take, right? Because I have it like for 2 minutes, like if you could spend 2 minutes talking about how to reset, inhaling and exhaling 4 to 6 counts. Of course, that's a good
Box breathing.
goose fraba, you know, type of thing. What else can you think of?
Vagal nerve stimulation or toning, chanting, humming, holding your hands over your heart. That helps. It helps instigate the parasympathetic nervous system, which is rest and digest, as opposed to fight or flight. Just a quick like meditation, which to me, when I say meditation, I don't mean sitting in the lotus position chanting Om in a dark room somewhere. You can meditate anywhere doing anything.
Although that would be hilarious.
Yeah, it would.
Christmas party. What are you doing? I have to do this or I'm going to Uncle Charlie.
I'm taking a Zen moment. Get my Zen moment. Get out of my face. But to me, like, I can meditate when I'm doing the dishes or, you know, just anything where I can just kind of get out of my immediate, you know, somatic sense.
Old school is count to 10.
Count to
before
10,
you say
same
anything,
thing.
right?
That's, you know, take a deep breath and count to 10. All of that.
I can count to 10. It's my facial, like, situation that I can't control sometimes.
But it, you know, like all of those things, it's taking the pause to notice that gap between stimulus and response.
Gotcha.
So that you can respond rather than react. You can choose your response instead of just letting your body pull you into whatever.
Yeah, that's all good stuff. You guys take notes on that.
And you know, we've all known this stuff since we were little kids, and we ignore it. And then we hear it again, and it's like, oh, yeah, I got to just take a breath. And then we don't do it. But when you actually do, the effect it has on your entire existence, if you can just remember that stuff and actually do it in the moment, is exponential. I used to be, I'll do, yeah. And, you know, would keep it in the back of my mind, but never actually do the practice. And when I finally actually started doing it, I'm like, oh, hey, this shit works.
Yeah.
Imagine that. You know.
So how do you, there's one thing, right, to say impulse control. Say, okay, I'm not going to kick Aunt Mary's ass this time.
Right.
I'm just going to bite my But sometimes, isn't there truth to the fact that even if you get good at biting your tongue and taking the high road, so to speak, how do you then flush that you're still kind of I just want to act out, but now I have to hold it in.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
And
how do you
you
do
need
that
a
part?
release
Yeah.
for that energy. Either go to the bathroom and kick the door or shout or, just,
Yeah.
go behind the door and do a little bit of dance. But you have, that's the key, is because what happens is when we stuff that shit down, what are called neuropeptides get locked in our cells. And if you don't clear that stuff out, that stuff builds up for years. It can build up over
Interesting.
and over and over.
So
and
you have
over
to
again.
have
Have to have an outlet. You can feel the energy wave if you stop long enough.
Yeah.
You can literally feel it go through you.
but don't hurt yourself though.
That's what
Sometimes-
I end up doing.
Yeah,
Like
sometimes you can
I
hit
kicked my
something.
fridge and
Yeah.
fractured my foot. But I can feel, especially as a neurodivergent, I feel that wave physically come up from my feet, up through my body, and it has to get out.
It seems like if you're experiencing this kind of congestion, consistently in your life, that's where maybe something like putting something like a punching bag in your
I
garage.
thought, yes,
You know what I mean?
yes.
So where you can actually get a physical exertion, put Gavin Newsom's face up on
Yeah,
the,
what is-
I don't know why I thought of him. That was
Came out on Musk.
too funny. So, okay, now how about this one? I have this titled Festive Boundary Menu, right? And so a couple of suggestions, right? The first one is if you're not feeling it, right? It's just like, God, I have to go. I can't get out of it because, I love, Uncle Larry and Aunt Rita, or whatever, and I have to go. But I am just not feeling it. If I stay there a long time, based on the people that are going to be there, you know what I mean? I know I'm going to get into it. So I'm going to arrive late and I'm going to leave early.
There you
What
go.
do you think about that?
Yeah, that's whatever you have to do,
Yeah.
whatever works for
Right.
you, because
your
we
peace
are
of
we are
mind.
in it. We are in it right now. We are in the middle of the shift. It's happening, and it's rupturing relationships, especially
Right.
familial. As those of us who are cluing into things faster. I hate the terms enlightened and ascending and all of that crap, but basically what it is, it's those of us who are seeing things for what they are, and those of us who are still deluding ourselves. And it's getting that divide is getting more and more stark every single day.
Yeah.
And a lot of us, especially Gen Xers, aren't putting up with shit anymore from families. We're not putting up with that same generational bullshit, and we're busting it up. Like, we go into these situations knowing there's going to be conflict.
Well,
and
you guys are
prepare for it.
you guys are the adults in the room now. Really.
That's it. And
you
we're
know?
all of a sudden like nobody told us that.
Yeah.
Like, nobody.
I just did.
Well, I mean, we know this, but like as overall,
Right.
like, there was never any hand, because the boomers refused to go away.
Yeah.
There was never any handoff like there had been in
baton.
previous generations.
Well, consider it done for whatever
it's
it's
done.
worth, right
We are
there.
the
Yeah.
adults in the room now, whether we want to be
Yes.
or not.
That's it.
We are in charge, and we've got to take things in the right direction. We're
Yeah.
the only ones who can.
That's right.
And that's
right.
really critical that people realize that.
Scare them.
It's not about, generational narcissism. We're better than you, or that's not it. It's we're the ones with the most experience now. We're the ones who've seen all this crap. And because we were born with technology but not on it, we're the only ones who can discern what's
I
really
like that.
going on.
I like that.
Because the boomers didn't know technology, and the millennials on down were born on it. We're the only ones who can discern the difference between organic and digital anymore. And that is massive. I mean, we are at a crux point of humanity where we literally have our existence in our hands. We are facing extinction as a species right this minute,
Yeah.
right now.
You guys wouldn't know it, but we're talking about Christmas.
Yeah.
So we'll try.
Yeah, I didn't mean for that to get like this, but
It's a lot of truth there.
We have to wake up to this fact that when we are going back to our families and stuff, we cannot cower to them anymore. We have to tell them they're wrong.
Well, appropriately.
Yeah,
Again,
but-
actually, we're trying to avoid conflict, Kel.
True, and
Don't go in guns blazing.
yeah, no. I'm not saying go in just we're bearing for a fight,
Yeah.
but we are the ones that have to have the boundaries and the strength that when we come up against things that are an absolute violation, that we do not let them go anymore. That's what we've done. We've let them get away with it. We let them sweep shit under the rug. We let them abuse us and didn't say anything.
Yeah.
We can't do that anymore.
Yeah. Well, and I'm sure that you would admit too that your experiences are pretty unique, and that doesn't mean that they're everybody's experience.
Exactly.
Right?
That's another key. That's another key is that we all have different experiences, but I am personally familiar with just about everybody that I know has had some sort of familial rupture. And
you can't get away from that.
No. And it's but it's what it is. It's come to an ultimatum. Basically, it's come down to an ultimatum of, if you continue with this, I'm going to do this, which is typically leave or not participate or whatever.
Oh yeah,
like
I see what you're saying.
because
they use kind of like your family ties as leverage to cut all ties if you don't cow down to
or not even cow down. It's like like saying to parents, like, look, the way you acted. This attitude that you have today may have been appropriate 60 years ago. It no longer applies, and you refuse to see that. Yeah, you refuse to change
that's
your
basic bigotry.
Pretty much. And we're getting a lot of that, like this kind of line in the sand, stake in the ground. Like, this is just. I got into a fight with a friend of mine the other day over this. He was like wrong. He was just wrong. He said, "I don't care. If an animal is a legitimate legal service animal, I will pet it anyway."
That's not.
And I said, "You're wrong.
Yeah.
That's just wrong."
Yeah.
Boomer. He's a boomer.
Like, you're like totally invading somebody's personal space.
You do that. It's a whole.
Property.
That's a whole ecosystem that you're messing with.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, who do you think you are?
Like, you know what? That's one of those FOFO things.
Yeah, we did.
You do that the wrong person, and that's and then who knows?
Because I'm like, emotional animals and
those animals are trained to protect their owner.
But service dog is a very specific thing. Mm-hmm. And he was, he was like, well, okay, if the person's blind, that's fine. I said, no, it's not just blind anymore. It's epilepsy, it's diabetes, it's it's like,
it's not up to you.
No, it's not your, that's not it's not. I was.
So now we are going to eventually get back to these Christmas holidays. We're on good tangents today. So under these boundary menus, so that the arrive late, leave early, if you're kind of stressed out.
Yeah, it comes down to do what you need to do that's best for you at this point. Like, we have done this, give in to the family, give in to what mom wants, give in to what the mother-in-law wants, go to their house, 2 hours away, let them bring the dog I can't stand or whatever. Now it's like, look, if you have your own family, make your own traditions.
But to offer suggestions instead of, kind of just being ambiguous and saying, hey, protect your space and stuff like that, trying to give some practical, type of thing. Here's an old one, oldie but goodie, is basically, hey, no politics today.
Yeah, no politics, no religion.
No politics, no religion.
Yep.
Everything else is pretty much fair game, especially sports, life events, things like that.
Yeah, you want to talk about and if us versus them, let's talk about the football game.
And if somebody's known to be a chronic agitator, let's put it that way, let's have a conversation with him before he comes over. Hey, this year, we're going to ask you to, take it easy.
Yeah.
Because,
but then there have to be consequences. If you start, this is what's going to happen. And then you enforce it.
Yeah.
Because they'll try anyway. Yeah. Those assholes try anyway.
Oh yeah. We have a pool out back. It's freezing outside. You will go in.
Whatever. You will be made to leave. We will call cops if we have whatever you need to do.
You're going there.
Well, if somebody wants to get belligerent, drinks too much, and they're wanting to.
Yeah, and I would say that if somebody has a chance of doing that, don't even invite that person.
Well, yeah,
you know what I mean, family or not. You had, like I said,
like if that's the dad or what.
True, Dad, you can't come this year.
Dad, just stay in your room and shut up.
That's hilarious. Now, what about collecting phones and keeping everybody's phone in a basket?
That's a great idea.
Yeah, right. I like that.
I really like that.
Yeah.
And me as somebody who tends to be avoidant and will use my phone in certain situations, I'm all for it. I'd be fine with that.
I like that. Okay, now here's an area relating to budgetary constraints, right? It's about buying gifts and stuff like that. So putting a budget cap,
Yes.
together, like putting a budget,
that's great.
Together,
Yep,
because that
$25
stresses
maximum.
people out.
It
Right?
totally does.
You want to say, I want to show my family how much I love them, and then January comes, the credit card bill comes, you're like, what the F was I thinking? You know what I
Or-
mean? You spend 6 months paying for that
total,
one,
total.
type
And,
thing.
or you go overboard and they get you like, the dollar store bundle box with the candle and the, bath salts in it,
right.
and you're like,
Yeah.
I
that's how I measure up.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm not that. I don't care.
I
I don't do that. But I know people who buy gifts expecting the same thing, something similar of value in return. And they
Right.
get all disappointed because they go all out and they pick the perfect thing that the person said they wanted 8 months ago. If they never, and then they get just generico gift.
I think the most special ones are, I have lots of room for improvement on this. I hit one every once in a while. But if you're really tight and there's somebody that means a lot to you, the suggestion is to come up with a memory gift. And this could be something related to an experience that you had together. You could be as simple as writing them a heartfelt letter. So of course, photos of memories, and just made a pun there. But anyway, so a memory gift, those are really cool.
Experience.
Now, also, if you find yourself in a conversation, right, and then you come to that shit moment, you kind of come to, I didn't want to get into this. Here's a diffuser, right? If you want to keep the conversation going, think about starting it. And I talk to people about this. When somebody finishes, say, with a point of view, and then, of course, you're supposed to wait for them to finish. Don't be interrupting, but assuming that you wait for them to finish, and then you just go right back into your counterpoint of view, there's a better way of doing it. It's called a little buffer, right? So, and then what it does is it takes away their fire a little bit. They're not wanting to fire at you so much.
Right.
If you say something that's just like, you may be right.
Oh, I see.
Excellent
Absolutely.
point. One that I haven't considered. And you could actually just end it right there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I do that a lot.
But if you want to keep it going, just then say, and also, and again, just try to, there's an art to conversation.
Yes, there are.
There's an art to conversation. All right, now back to the movies. Now, come up with the Kevin plan, thinking back to Home Alone. Now, especially, of course, if you're going to have kids, have a little box, a kid boredom box. So if the kids get bored, you know what I mean, they're antsy and stuff like that, you have to have some outlets, for them. And even adults, right?
God, yeah.
Like, let's say you're in between the meal and somebody's just starving, you know what I mean? And let's like HALT, so it's just like, hey, I'm really hungry. If I don't eat something right now, I'm going to kill somebody. And then just like have some adult panic snacks, that they can just
Yeah, that's what the
kinda
relish tray was for.
Yeah. Let's see. I have a note here, if you're in inclement weather, to have some weather backup, just in case there is some outage or stuff like that. So if you have the wherewithal for a generator,
That's a good point. I
if
never
you have
thought
a
about
generator,
that.
make sure you have the gas for it and everything.
Yeah, that's
candles even, right? If you have an outage, but you
Yeah.
have candles on the ready,
That's a good point. I never thought about that.
Thank you. And another one is like, how often or how many times have you went somewhere just like, dang it, I forgot my charger, right? So you have a charger pile of all the different C's
connections,
and the
C's and
lightning, and stuff like
USB.
that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
has
I
it,
have
right?
multiple. Like I have charging decks. Like it's a plug that's like a hub that has a bunch of different connection points to it. Those are awesome.
Yeah,
those are. I didn't think about it for like a holiday gathering, but
that's exactly what it is. It's
Yeah.
a connector hub.
Yep.
And then the last thing, back to Mr. Scrooge, a good goal in between now and Christmas, and even maybe now until the rest of the first of the year, is look for an opportunity to once a day do an unexpected act of kindness.
Random act of kindness.
It could be something as simple as opening a door, or just whatever.
Complimenting
Just
somebody randomly. Yeah.
look for that stuff.
Yeah.
Look for that.
I do that naturally. Like I just, I'm so nosy, I'm so curious about people that I'm always like looking, and I love to compliment people because I'm fascinated by stuff people wear, jewelry and cute outfits.
Where'd you get that?
Yeah.
All right. So now here's a couple of scripts, quick role plays. So let's say that, again, one of your relatives is a chronic critic, just critical about everything, just can't make them happy, right? but you know, saying something like, "Hey, thanks for caring."
Mm-hmm.
You know, right? So they're criticizing you or somebody, you know, specifically you, just like, "Hey, thanks for caring. I really appreciate that feedback."
That's so
one
good.
thing that I'll ask though, like around the holidays, can we just shelve this? I appreciate that, but like after January 2nd, let's talk this after January 2nd.
Yeah, if it's a discussion point kind of thing. Yeah,
so you
that's I love it.
acknowledge- Yeah, it's good
I
stuff.
love it.
You
And chances
kinda
are they'll
handle-
never come back
so
about
you filled that criticism,
Yes.
instead of being combative,
Right.
and then basically kind of segueing into just like, "Hey, I appreciate that. It's good feedback, but look, Aunt Sally over there, I got to go talk to her. Can we shelve this until January 2nd? Boom.
Yeah,
You know, then you're out.
most
Time
communication
for some whiskey.
right. Let's get that spiked eggnog. Most communication problems stem from the fact that in general, in life in general, day to day, most of us don't feel heard because
Yeah.
there's so much noise out there.
Especially like around people you haven't seen in a while, right?
Sure.
Which kind of goes into the next one. Let's say you haven't seen somebody in a while, you're at the dinner table, and so this goes out to the oversharer, right? So there's an oversharer there.
Yeah.
And so you're kind of getting their ear a little bit and just like, "Hey, I love you. You know, but can we keep it light for dinner?
Yeah.
Let's do this deep dive a little bit after.
Or
okay?
how about you? Let's you and I have a conversation.
Yeah,
later. Let's
yeah, so you can get this off your chest.
yeah.
you know,
Kind
or
of
whatever.
like you
Save
sort
everybody.
of yeah, and kind of make them feel a little elevated. You can do it in a way that's like, yeah, they don't need to know.
Yeah.
You and I will.
I don't want to hear about toe fungus at dinner. you
Well,
know?
no, of course not. Just in general, like
Yeah.
when you get somebody like that, the absolute key point is they're lonely.
Yeah.
They're lonely and nobody listens to them.
Yeah.
And they've got stuff to say.
I have something to say. It's better to burn out than to fade away.
And so, I'm particularly tuned into oversharers because I am one. That's a big neurodivergence trait. And so I'm very conscious of it. And again, as a curious person about humans, I love it. I love when people overshare.
Yeah.
Because I don't use that. You have to be careful with it because people will use it against you. I don't. I take in that information and use it to help the person.
Yeah.
I try to do whatever I can to elevate them. But there's a lot of that out there now just because people are so isolated.
Especially at the holidays.
Especially around the holidays.
That
Used
they
to be
don't
the
do well with
elderly
that-
people.
that uncomfortable silence. They got to fill the void sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm going to talk about sometimes there are these party planners and they don't really consider other people. And so they're what I call budget buster, and they're busting your budget, because of, hey, you're going to go out and you're going to spend this much money and we're going to do this kind of party and stuff like that. But everybody's spending the same amount of money. So you're kind of given that, and then you feel the obligation. So, and that's one of those times where you just have to be kind of assertive and appropriate and say, hey, I don't really care what everybody else is doing. I got $25 and that's it.
Yeah. Best I can
So
do.
that's what's going to happen. So,
And then you give them
we'd
the
love
option.
to go.
If you'd
Yeah.
rather I not participate, that's
Yeah.
perfectly fine. Let
Yeah.
me know.
Yeah.
But this is the best I can do.
Yeah, exactly. Or if you want to give me the extra $25, count us in.
But that's a big deal too, because especially if you have a big family and you do a lot of that, you have to go to this one and that one and the brother and the sister and the in-laws and that can get really expensive. And if you can either set limits or, one person, like a one person exchange rather than you having to buy gifts for everybody and then buying for everybody, like each person, like you get Uncle Larry this year and you get
like
Susie. Tommy
Classic gift exchange.
Yeah, like a just a 1-to-1 rather than having to buy for everybody in the family.
Yeah,
I can't
there's ways
imagine
of doing it. Well, at this point, for the most part, I focus on the kids. The kids is
what
what it's
people
all
have ended
about.
up doing lately, which I like to see. Rather than worrying about each other and impressing people.
You brought me some fudge today. Thank you
I
for that.
did. I hope you like it. No, you don't. You gave me the persimmon cookies.
That doesn't count
Why?
because I owed you those for a long time.
It doesn't matter.
All right,
I
now,
don't charge interest.
Let's go into a little life coach lightning round.
Okay.
So take a little bit of time. Do you have anything like a bare minimum holiday? Like, do you have a holiday that you just always say, no matter what, I just don't do much on that one? Bare minimum. Is there any one of the holidays that we as a society experience that where you just
Pretty much all of them. Like I don't decorate.
Yeah.
I don't. I mean, to me, that's just more work. I've
Yeah.
never understood like people who.
you're
for the
like a
Christmas decorations.
spontaneous event.
I'm spontaneous
Yes,
event.
yes.
Like somebody's like, hey,
that
go out
sounds
and-
like fun.
like
yeah.
exactly. I'm kind of in the moment.
Wouldn't
thing.
have sought out an event for the holiday, but since you,
But Exactly.
I like that.
That's it. Like,
Okay.
It's same thing like Thanksgiving this year. It was the day before and I was like, oh, it's Thanksgiving this week, isn't it? I wonder what I'm going to do Thursday. And I noticed I happened to be at Real City earlier that week and noticed that they had a Thanksgiving dinner that Thursday. So that was, I made my plan in the moment when I was at the casino. And then my neighbor said she was doing cooking the whole deal. Did I want to come over and had invited several of us? And I was the only, I was like, oh yeah, I'd rather do that.
Hell to the, yeah.
So so I went to Sharon's and I was the only one that showed up. It was wonderful.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was great.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Now, what about as we roll through Christmas and then the next year, which is a time for renewal, right? And so what is your take on the annual New Year's resolution?
I call people who do that resolutionaries
Oh, I like that.
because everybody I know makes all of these resolutions and
Yeah.
proclamations and I'm gonna and let's do this. And then within 3 weeks, they're out.
The last resolution I made was 2019 or 2020, somewhere around there. 2019. That's the last one. And then I've given it up too.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I try not to see January 1st as like we have made as a society, especially in America, such a big freaking deal.
Well, I'm preparing for next year.
Well, absolutely.
From like
And
the
because-
business standpoint, goal setting, what do I want to accomplish and things like that. But I don't necessarily just the resolution. I'm going to do this different. The last, you know what it was? The last resolution I made?
What was it?
Always pee before you leave.
Oh, that's a good one. That's more of a maxim than a
the
resolution.
year before was really bad. I had some stress points.
Funny. No, to me, resolutions are.
So what's one thing you're going to not do this year? This in 2026? That's a spin.
That is a
Instead
good
of
one.
saying,
I'm gonna.
Yeah,
like,
so
I'm
what
gonna
are you
stop.
not going to do? What do you think? What comes to mind? First thing.
I would like to stop procrastinating, but of course I say that that's easier said than done.
Yeah, there was an interesting little video that popped up relating to procrastination. He was basically getting to the point to where there was something wrong with your flow. Your
That's
energy
it.
flow.
That's true. That's
And I was
exactly
like,
right.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
right?
it's not really a.
Sometimes I get things done because I don't want the feeling of what it feels like to procrastinate. It's just like, oh, I still got to do
it.
that.
Just freaking do it. Yes. And so I
ebbs and flows though.
it does. It absolutely does. And again, the neurodivergence is a big
Because sometimes
deal
we
with
need
this.
rest.
Sure.
Sometimes
And
we do need rest.
definitely. I mean, it's mandatory. We it's not a sometimes. We absolutely need rest every single day. And I get into cycles of where I'm so going and blowing on stuff and getting stuff done and staying up late and learning more and doing that I get out of that rest flow and I can maintain it for a while, but then I'm gonna hit a crash point.
I found that sometimes it gets choppy.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's because of some sort of ADHD component, that I'm not like, I guess if I was ADHD, it would be kind of like a mild case of it where it's choppy.
Yeah.
It happens from
just
time
normal,
to time.
I think everybody has a touch of
Yeah.
what we call ADHD. It's not,
Yeah.
necessarily the same thing, but that distractibility is really what it is.
That's sometimes that. But what I find though is that if I consciously, like if I have a list of say 10 things that have to get done and I'll categorize them most important,
Yeah.
this is next important. And then if this gets done, it's like a luxury. You're ahead of this.
Right.
You're
Yeah.
ahead of schedule
Right.
on these things over here. Right. And so, but I found that if I focus on those first two A's and B's, and then I do this, for an appropriate period of time, but not too long, and then I go do something else, everything added together, you get shit done.
Yeah, you do.
it's just like, it just feels really good. But then if you just said, oh, I got to do number one.
And then you sit and gut through the whole thing and then I find, and I don't know if that's neurodivergence, if it's just habit, the way I've evolved through my life, but I find I'm much more effective when I can drip on things. Like
that's a good way.
And I mean, modern productivity wisdom tells you, no, you need to focus for an hour, use your Pomodoro timer, and do whatever you're doing and do it for an hour, and then
focus on one thing at a time. Which actually I do. Focus on one thing at a time, but it's for a period of time, right? And if I have to.
I will.
Hours,
I mean, if I know I need something, a deadline or whatever.
For 3 hours the other day.
And that was easy. I mean, that was great. And we weren't even doing anything. We were pretty much.
Time passed.
It did.
Very, very quickly. But
we were in the flow.
because there's like this little small pile, that I have to process, and it's been sitting there for like a week, but there's other theoretically more important things to do, so I don't feel bad about it.
That's it. That's what you realize when you go back and look. You're like, okay, I see why I prioritize that. Maybe that didn't feel as important in the moment, but now I see why. And you can give yourself the grace of going, okay, I'm better than I think.
Yeah. So don't worry so much about resolutions.
No.
But still set goals, people.
Goals.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Aspirations, all that stuff.
Revolutions
with time frames and benchmarks.
Smart.
Yeah.
Make them smart.
All right. Now, what about, have you ever, or what would be a situation where you would literally have to take 10 minutes to calm down? And then what do you do?
Like in a holiday family thing, or at any point? Like
just in general.
In general?
Just in general. Like you find yourself upset. You say, I counted to 10. I've done breathing exercises and I feel I just still want to choke them. So I can't leave, but I can go here, and in 10 minutes, what would you do? Is it a thought-driven, not ritual, but a thought-driven kind of practice?
Yeah, it
or
would
technique?
be probably more trying to talk myself down.
Right.
And like if I couldn't physically.
Is it worth it?
It depends.
Type of thing.
Yeah.
It's like a self-talk moment.
Yeah. It's more like,
would it be something
pick your battles
you would do
here.
yourself, by yourself, or would you seek somebody else out to help talk you off?
Depends. It all depends on what it is.
Yeah.
Most things I can pretty much, I can see where the other person was coming from, what they were looking to get out of the exchange, whatever, I can usually see the full 360 of what's going on.
Yeah.
It's whether or not I want to concede to it.
See, so that answer right there, that's like a glaring difference between men and women.
Mm-hmm.
Because like your strategy right there, you know what most of us guys would do? We'd go up to the host and say, you got a beer? It's like, yeah, here you go. I'll see you in 10 minutes.
Right.
Go
like
off.
I got to go take a walk, or I got to go take a drive, or go isolate, or women want to dig into it and figure it out, and men are just like, no.
Well, and then it's just like, it all depends what what the situation is and stuff like that. But it's so funny.
Your battles is
now,
a biggie.
How about this? So you're in a situation, and this person's really trying to convince you to do something. Of course, it's a relative, so it's nothing, nothing sexual or anything like that. So, but what's the nicest no that you know how to say to somebody? What's the best way, the nicest way that you use to let somebody down?
I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. That was really thoughtful. I'm not going to do that right now, or that's not going to work for me. But
yeah, I like that.
I see what I see. You acknowledge that you see what they were trying to do.
You've used that on me.
Have I?
I don't know. Maybe. I wouldn't hold it against you. Now, do you have any kind of tradition, that costs less than $20?
Holiday tradition?
Yeah. Like people can say, that's a good life hack right there. It's less than $20. You can kind of not be known as somebody that didn't care enough to, remember your great grandma or whatever. Nothing comes to mind. I guess
not off the top. See, I'm so specific. Like when I buy gifts for somebody, I'm so intentional. Like I know if I'm buying a gift for somebody, I know what they really like. Like I buy specialty gifts. I don't do the generic. Like if I'm buying something for somebody, it's because it's so specific what they're into, or it's so perfect for this or that or the other. Yeah. So you know what I mean?
Very intentional.
Very. Like I'll pick up on stuff people mention once, 10 months ago, and I'll store that away.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah. And then I'll find what happens is that triggers my reticular activating system. So I'm out on Amazon, I'm out on eBay, just doing stuff for myself, and something will pop up that relates to that. And I'll be like, oh, so-and-so's got to have that, that kind of thing.
With your scarcity of family members, you don't have like any long distance relatives
Nope.
or anything.
Nobody.
Okay. So you don't have to worry about that.
Nope.
All right. So now let's talk about how to party but doing it safely. Same thing, parties, posts, pitfalls, and stuff like that. So let's talk about social media, versus real life, right? So you have all these, the holiday highlight reels, that'll pop up, right? I like that, the little meme by Kevin Hart, it's just like, hey, there ain't no need to take any pictures of your Thanksgiving dinner. We all eating the same shit. And so how do you scroll without, kind of like these soul sucking comparisons?
I haven't seen a lot of that. I have one or two people on my list that are still like deep into the look at my family kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
But most of the people I know kind of feel the way I do about the whole thing. They're just like, it's obligatory and that's it. Like I go, we do it and that's it. They don't even want to be reminded of it. Most of what I see are like what I do. Like I'll post like a graphic. I'll find like a really pretty Merry Christmas something or other. Usually it has suns, moon, stars in it. And I'll post that with kind of like Merry Christmas to everybody kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen a lot of the exploitation.
My youngest daughter's birthday is today.
Oh, happy birthday.
See, I didn't do that obligatory as a reference though.
Yeah.
I texted her this morning, I think about 9:00.
Did she hate this time of year because she always got the combined, oh, it's for your birthday and Christmas?
No, we didn't do that.
Oh, that's
because it was
good.
like a week before. So
I've known
we
people
had
that
her,
have gotten screwed by that.
Oh, my best friend, his birthday is December 26th.
Oh.
So yeah, he hated that.
Yep, I had
That's
friends,
exactly.
in school that any
He'd get one-
December birthday
he'd get
screwed all my friends.
He'd get all his Christmas presents and one extra one for his birthday. And so, but no birthday party,
Right.
Or, and stuff, or
That would suck.
yeah. So his whole life.
Poor thing.
So
I felt
after-
bad. I
day
always felt
after
bad for those
Christmas,
kids.
Yeah. So no, Jenna was a good. She's. I wouldn't want to say she's spoiled, but she is. She was, she was the youngest.
Spoiled,
one.
but not spoiled rotten.
But she's a good.
That's
good,
me.
She's a good lady.
I was spoiled, but not spoiled rotten.
But I didn't post anything on Facebook, which I have been guilty of. Hey, my kid's birthday's today. Wish him happy birthday. But normally that's somebody that's not on Facebook.
Gotcha.
So I don't know why I do that, because he's not on Facebook. But I still make a point of saying, "Hey, wish him a happy birthday,"
Interesting.
knowing he's not going to see it.
Yeah, but the energy is still there, though.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like,
he's
you
probably
get that,
not going to see it.
You get that collective energy from the people that see the post, kind of sending him. I mean, that's a legitimate. I mean, sending energy is a real thing. So when you get a collective of positive energy that goes to somebody, they get affected by that.
That
So
makes
that's
sense.
yeah, there's nothing wrong with
makes
that at
sense.
all.
All right, now
I mean, people still commemorate dead people.
let's talk about you. You've had over your lifetime, you've been a certain size, and you've now
Couple
you
times.
fit and trim and all that stuff,
Yep.
right? So let's talk about food and drink. So talk about the joy of being in the holidays, or all the way from pretty much say Thanksgiving through the end of December. And then while you're going through that process, you're kind of telling yourself, the January me is going to hate this. And so coming up with even 2-plate, what about a 1-plate rule? I have 2-plate rule here, but even 1 plate, just like, hey, don't eat more than 1 plate. I also have a note of having a water buddy. When you're going out, having like one of your girlfriends keep an eye on you, making sure that every 2 drinks you drink 1 thing of water.
That's smart.
That's really smart.
That's so smart.
You talk about the hangover aspect,
Yes.
right?
Yes. People don't realize how critical that is and how much you can mitigate from alcohol.
Yeah. And when you're hydrating too, a lot of times if you're not hydrating, it's just like, I'm thirsty, I need another drink. But if you're hydrating, you're not as likely to be thirsty.
Right.
Right,
By the time you're thirsty, you're already dehydrated.
Yes.
By the time you feel thirsty.
And always make sure that you have a ride plan, designated driver,
Absolutely.
have
Uber or
enough
something.
in your Uber account, and all that good stuff.
Yeah. I used to use the holidays as an excuse to overindulge with food.
Yeah.
I've never been much of a big drinker, but food was like, it was coming up on that time.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get to get away with,
this is my
being
favorite,
a pig,
This is my favorite
basically.
time of year. Yeah,
And I
overindulging.
don't do that anymore. I used to, like, when I would go to like buffets or events, like load up.
Well, you
as
just
much as, like,
you
free stuff as I
remember
could.
that person that you were, and you don't want to be that person anymore. You say, I've moved on.
Not even so much
I'm
that.
different.
Now it's not even that person or anything related to how I used
Or
to
at
be
least
in the
those
past.
habits.
Those habits, there's muscle memory there. But what I really started to do was just pay attention to my body. Like, what does my body really want? What can it really handle? And I realized how uncomfortable.
But there's a
I would
difference
get.
between want versus need also.
Well, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about what I want.
Yeah.
I eat what I want. But now I never used to have a governor what I call a governor that I can trust. That speed gate thing where
Right.
you can only go so far. I couldn't trust myself not to get in the situation and just go, yeah, fuck it. I'm just going to eat whatever I'm going to eat all this stuff. It's too good. And then, kind of excuse myself and absolve myself of busting my own boundaries.
Right.
And I realized I would go home and just be like, oh, I overdid it, or I ate too much, or God, I feel like a pig. I hope people weren't seeing how much I was loading on my plate and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm just like, okay, body, what do we want? You know, instead of, I've got to have 7 of everything, I'll have 1 of this, 1 of this. That's not my
picky,
favorite.
more
So let's
picky.
go with the things I really like. And I'm able to stop when I'm full.
Yeah.
And I never used to be able to do that.
Wow.
Like now I'm
Yeah.
like, ooh, I just don't want anymore.
It
Like,
doesn't feel good.
it
to be
doesn't feel
so
good to be
full. Yeah.
Like I'm so conscious of it now. And I realized how unconscious I was before because I wanted to entertain my mouth rather than nourish my body.
So
and I
one-
have a different attitude about food now.
One, maybe a 2-plate rule, depending on who you are and what
it
your
depends.
goals are.
I won't load the plate up. If I'm thinking I might go back for seconds, I won't load my first plate up like I used to.
Yeah.
I'll have, a taste of this, a taste of it, and then see what I want to go back for more of.
Yeah.
That's what I did at Emily's party the other night. It was a beautiful
it.
spread.
Now, everyone, this is under sleep and travel, so everyone is 30% nicer after 30 minutes more sleep. Isn't that a trip?
Wow.
30% nicer after 30 minutes more sleep. So the point is kind of build these little buffer days. So if you have a big event, holiday event on a Thursday, sleep. Yeah,
That's
a little
I
extra,
didn't realize that. That's
little
interesting.
extra half hour. Just plug it in, and let's see. So let's go into what's the verdict section. So give me a thumbs up or thumbs down on some of this stuff. And so, what do you think? Thumbs up and thumbs down with the Secret Santa, versus the white elephant, right? The Secret Santa, of course, you don't know who you're buying the present for, but they don't know until they actually get the present, right? And so the kind of thing with that is you have a chance and some planning time to be thoughtful, right? Because you know who it is and what they're about.
Yep.
Whereas the white elephant is chaotic fun,
Yeah,
right?
it is.
Because you're just
fun.
like,
To take it back. It's the most memorable white elephant I have. I still have the thing from it, and this was 2003, and 2002 even. This was winter of 2002. I worked at CompUSA, and we did a white elephant, and it was this. It's so cute. It's a sun, moon, star little votive candle holder, and I wanted it so bad, and my friend Jim got it. And I was like, damn you, I wanted that so bad. And he gave it to me. It was so sweet. It was so sweet. I was just like, oh, because I made a big stink.
he didn't trade you?
No, he just gave
just
it,
gave
he
it
just
to
took
you?
it and gave it to me.
Did Jim want to date you?
No.
No?
Jim was like in his 60s back then.
Oh.
I was in my 30s.
Oh,
No.
okay.
He was just a kindly,
Nice guy.
just a nice, and this was a cutthroat
Yeah.
environment.
Maybe he already had one of those.
No, he was
Just
just
teasing.
just a genuinely nice guy who
Right.
who actually liked me.
Yeah.
Like just
Yeah.
we were just nice. We weren't even on the same team.
So that was your biggest white elephant.
that was my most
victory.
memorable white elephant
Yeah.
experience.
I love it. Now, what about regifting? Thumbs up or thumbs down?
I'm all about it. I
Okay.
tell people when I give people gifts, if it doesn't work for you, just throw
Yeah.
it away, regift it, whatever you're going to do. It won't
Yeah.
hurt my feelings.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't give gifts like some people give gifts with a hook. I don't do that.
Yeah.
If I give a gift, I just want you to have it and do whatever. It's yours. It's not mine.
No,
it's
you're
not,
not supposed
there's
to
no
have
attachment.
Yeah, you're not supposed to have
No,
contingencies. Yeah,
that is so sick.
That you suck.
You know,
if
that's
what you're
about
doing.
you. When you give a gift to get a reaction, that's no gift.
Now, what do you think about no gift packs?
I'm good with that too.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
right. Open bar, thumbs up or thumbs down. Open bar at a work party.
Now in 2025, if I were still in corporate, I would say absolutely not.
Yeah,
Back in the day, it was just the thing. I mean, we were wild idiots.
everybody's having fun until HR gets involved.
Right, right. And back then, like we were still in the midst of sexual harassment.
Yeah.
You know, dudes were still getting away with sexual harassment. So, you know, it was
Now,
it was one of those things that had to run its course based on consequences, and
Right.
it did. It finally, enough people finally got in trouble in corporate for being drunk assholes at the work party that it stopped.
Well, now they have an idea of how to control it a little bit, where they actually, like a company will actually have drink tickets.
Yeah,
right?
that's the way to go.
And provide rides, so they don't have to worry about Uber. There's designated
That's
driver
smart.
that's built in and stuff like that, so nobody has to worry about that. I like that.
Yeah, I like that too.
That's adulting. Right
That's
there.
it. I mean,
Yeah.
have the party, have fun, get crazy.
Yeah.
Be a
Exactly.
drunk goofball, but you know, be mindful of the perception.
Mhm.
You know, when we start drinking, we let our nobody at the office is their real self.
Yeah.
You can't be.
Oh yeah, it's
You
the
have
the
to
three
play-
faces that the Chinese talk about. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
There's nothing in it. That's okay.
No.
But add alcohol, those masks drop.
Yeah.
And you don't always want people to see who you really are. You
Not when I'm angry.
inside you want everybody to know. You want to just crush it all over the place, but you
No,
can't.
Not when I'm angry.
You just can't, you know.
Yes.
Whether it's anger, whether it's the woohoo, whether it's the office whore, whatever personality you have
Right.
that you're suppressing, you know,
It comes out.
it can come out. So you just be mindful that perceptions may shift in these situations.
Oh, they will. Yeah.
Some
they
people will like you more. Some people will threaten your job.
Yeah.
Because you get those buttoned up types that wish they could let go like that and never will.
Yeah.
So they want to control everybody else.
Right. Now, we talked about this a little bit, but phone-free dinners,
Yeah.
right? Awkward for a few minutes for everybody to kind of, but hey, there's, again, corporate parties where they have code checks, you know, so you check your phone.
Absolutely.
You just check your phone.
Absolutely.
Oh, and
The
again,
only
so-
problem with that is you're going to get those people that are like, oh, but my kids, there might be an emergency with my mother. There
Yeah.
might be. You're going to get
Yeah.
the people that want the exception.
Harry, take Janice home.
Yeah, yeah.
You
So,
know, so-
that's hard
They
to
don't
do.
have to go.
Yeah, it's hard to do in this
Yeah.
day and age just because people are so addicted to the
Yeah.
idea of that instantaneous somebody might need me thing.
Yeah, well,
that-
and it would be easier to do if you have, say, a small company of 20 employees versus a company with 200 employees.
Sure, and
you know,
at a
so-
company that's you know, like if you have like a small little team like that, most people are worried that work is going to call. So if it's the work party,
Yeah, exactly.
it's okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can let loose, but then you're going to get those helicopter parents that are like, oh, you know, little Johnny the babysitter may call,
Yeah.
or, you know, or the people who take their parents. You know,
Three-
that was me. I had my phone.
Those are the people that 3 months later they're laid off.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, so it's a balancing act.
Absolutely.
But I like the idea, you know, like put the phone up, but you have access to it if you need it.
Now, this
thing.
is going to be an interesting question for you.
Okay.
You know, because of your history with men,
Okay.
relationships and stuff like that. So, and combined with holidays,
Okay.
right? So, what do you think about matching pajamas?
Oh, it's cute. I'm such a matchy.
I will not do that. I don't know why. It's just like that's. Just,
I mean, I've never done it, but it's cute. I mean, couples that do
you know
that.
why? I know exactly why. I know exactly
Why?
Because when I was in college, there was a pajama party.
Oh.
Right. And so my ex-wife, my girlfriend, future fiance at the time, we got these onesies, and I was the light blue, she was the pink.
Pink.
Okay. So this huge party at the Galleria, this big art gallery, 5 different levels, thousands.
God, I
of
remember the
people,
Gallerias.
Thousands of people that were there, right? So after this party is winding down, my ex-wife's best friend and her boyfriend, we go into a bathroom and there's girls in really, really bad shape. And so we have to take her to the hospital. Yeah. Take her to the hospital.
Wow.
And, so we are in downtown San Francisco in the hospital in onesies.
Okay.
I will never do that again.
I can see the aversion.
I showed my love and commitment.
That's cute. That's cute.
So, and that is a true story.
I believe it.
I have never done anything like that since. So, yeah, no matching pajamas for the G-Man.
That is funny.
Was I oversharing?
No, not at all. That's adorable.
Goodness
But yeah,
gracious.
no, I think now, of course, certainly not all the time, but you know, when a couple occasionally does a little matchy thing with, you know, the same color shirt or
Kind of depends on.
It depends. Totally
what
depends
their
on the
age is.
couple. Depends on.
It's kind of like young love. Okay.
Or really
and like
old.
great grandma and grandpa.
Yeah.
That's adorable.
The
you
ugly
know.
Christmas sweater
but
or
everything in between.
yeah.
I'll do an ugly sweater thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, not matching pajamas. I'm not going to go there. Okay, now let's trip on over here to a couple of matters of fact, I should say. What do you think with the statement of expectations are louder than reality? So lower the volume, enjoy the track.
I love it.
Good
love
one,
it.
huh?
Absolutely.
I'm going to say that again. Expectations are louder than reality. So lower the volume and enjoy the track.
I love
Let a
that.
little music
That
metaphor
is
there.
So good.
Yeah.
That is really good because and as someone who spent, you know, most of my life in a functional delusion, expectations got me in so much damn trouble.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It really
That's
did.
the one thing. So here's the thing that I'll leave you with as far as that goes. Disappointment cannot happen without expectation.
Yep, exactly.
And a lot of times we have these expectations without getting the sign off and approval from the person that we have.
But you have the
these
expectation
expectations
of
with.
they don't even know.
They don't even know.
They have no idea.
Just like, wait a minute.
Like what?
You're just, so that's some profound shit right there.
Big
people.
time. Especially in
good.
relationships. I mean,
Yeah.
we got into this delusional idea that we're supposed to just be able to read each other's minds
Exactly.
and know what the other person wants.
And it goes both ways.
Absolutely, it
You know,
does.
it goes both ways. So, all right, now.
And
how
usually
about-
it goes the way of the woman and what she wants to do for the man, and the man what he doesn't want to do for the woman is usually where it comes in.
Yeah. Or like sometimes, what was it? What I didn't notice that my wife got a haircut, and like her highlights were the same, but I didn't notice, I guess, the length. I'm like, man, I ain't got time to notice that. Like I'm busy doing stuff.
Right.
Now, if we had spent 3 consecutive, nights going out and something like that, and I had the opportunity to kind of observe it, then it would pop up.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
And I'm not trying
But
to be
we-
insensitive.
of course not.
And I'm not trying to say you're not important, but it's kind of like
We do
it's
things
kinda
for
like,
effect. And then when
Yeah,
it doesn't
you're
have
like-
any effect, we're like, what the fuck? I just made
Yeah.
this, I just did
Yeah.
this, this, and this. And to you, it was a big deal.
Yeah.
To them, they weren't even looking for it. So they don't even know to expect, absolutely.
It's a wild, wild
It
world.
is. It really is.
Now, what about this? Okay, so and I agree with this. So the matter of fact that small rituals will almost always beat these big productions, right? So you have all this big spread and everything's fancy schmancy and stuff like that. And a lot of times, I think as adults, you'll look back and your childhood when you had something simple, like, God, I miss Grandpa and Grandma. They didn't have a lot, but the thing that I miss the most is we would come over and they would make us hot cocoa. And then we would go out just in the one block and we would sing Christmas carols. Just those little things like that. That didn't cost a lot of money.
Yes.
A little bit of cocoa. And you're there, you're present, and you're just, giving of yourself a little bit, being a little vulnerable,
sharing that
stuff
energy.
like that.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
small rituals with your family
Big time.
members. Those
Much
are,
better than the big grand gestures. And I'm a grand gesture person. I mean, I've definitely been known to, go way overboard for certain things, but that's not like I don't expect that to last, or and that's the other thing. People get used to grand gestures, and then they want they expect everything to be this peak experience, and then you diminish these simple rituals that are so fulfilling.
100%, 100%. All right, now here's a nice one: sleep, protein, and daylight fixes half of December.
I agree.
Those three things.
No
If you
kidding,
think about
right?
that. Getting that extra sleep. We talked about 30 minutes, before
Yes.
the day. Of course, protein goes without saying.
Or just good
And then
nutrition
daylight.
and sunlight. Yeah, get that
yeah.
vitamin D, that natural vitamin D.
Don't be a vampire. All right. Money stress shrinks with clarity. Pick a number, stick to it, be proud of yourself.
Absolutely.
Doing it.
That's another thing. Don't bust your own boundaries and then come January be bitching and moaning about all the money you spent.
Yeah, exactly.
And we do this because a lot of us enjoy the process of buying, gifting, and buying things and thinking of other people.
You like to see their face. Oh.
Sure, but be mindful of the fact that's about you. You want to keep that bridge that, this is really for somebody else. Yes, I'm enjoying this. I get the benefit too, but it's really about that person.
Some of them are the gifts that money can't buy.
Absolutely.
This is supposed to be about that time of year. All right. And speaking of that, okay, people are going to remember how they felt around you, not what centerpiece that you used.
Yep.
Right. And so a tiny challenge for our listeners, if they're listening now or with the recording, is to pick one boundary for the holidays, pick one kindness, one memory gift, and then report back to us if this works for you.
Yeah.
We'll talk
I would love that.
We'll talk to each other. Yeah.
One on the podcast or the Podbean app or on Facebook.
Yeah. And of course, if we get this stuff rolled out, there'll be more opportunities for that.
Oh yeah. Once we get the video and online real-time engagement, that'll be a lot of fun.
What's a boundary that you could come up with real quick?
For myself, or like
not to let any kind of like negative holiday demons in.
Yeah.
In the course of visiting with company.
Yeah. See, it doesn't really affect me.
Yeah.
So I that's just not really my experience. So I've already divulged over years all these habits, and so it's been,
you got it together. I have to say,
thanks.
For how to handle the holidays, that's for sure.
Yeah, I kind of got just sort of forged into it just by the way life went.
Does anyone, without mentioning names, can you think of somebody that needs to learn some of this stuff to have a calmer December?
Not so much. I don't now that since I'm not in corporate anymore.
Birds of a feather.
Yeah, the people I'm around are older and their kids are all grown, and I live in a 55 plus, so it's mostly aging boomers. So, there's just not a lot of hoopla, but I'm just, my day-to-day life isn't involved with people who get caught up in that kind of thing anymore.
I love it. I'm jealous.
I don't know too many people that have kids. I don't.
It's almost like fun when you're in it, but man, at this point, it's always nice when the holidays are over. Yeah. There's just a lot of moving parts,
family and kids.
Sometimes you forget some things, so that's always a little bit unnerving.
To me, the biggest thing is just always remember the reason for the season. And no, I'm not talking about Jesus' birthday. I mean your family. I mean, the camaraderie,
that's right.
The mindfulness of human relationships. That's to me is what holidays are all about.
Watch Scrooge. There's a message in it. So what do you think?
Good. Are we out?
Yeah, not bad. A quick little show. We're gonna be off next week.
Are we?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so. Yeah, because Christmas Eve.
Is sure.
Yeah,
sure.
So
okay.
we're going to take a break. But hey, huge thanks to our crew and partners, World Matters Incorporated, Big Bongo Productions, your producers of record, and of course, Active Life Integrated Health, Skin Tuition, Soul is Better, and your radio family at America Matters Media 93.7. Couldn't do it without you guys. So hey, quick programming note: we're going to be off next week, as I mentioned. So go.
What about the week after?
New Year's Eve.
Really?
Yeah, let's do it. New Year's Eve. Or we could do it the day, before. We'll talk about it.
All right, let's talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. So let's see. If we do New Year's Eve, it'll still be the same time, 4 o'clock, special live stream. And I think what we're going to do is, what's the matter with starting over?
Oh, I love it.
Check your past at the door.
Oh, that's perfect. It's perfect timing, new year. I love it.
That's what I'm talking about. So fresh starts, clean slates, practical resets, no magical thinking required. So from the Matterhorn, I'm the G-Man for Kel. Be kind, be merry, keep your pace on purpose, and as always, ask better, live better, and look forward to a new start. And that's what's going to happen